Welcome back to Horoscope TV. Imagine throwing a huge birthday party for yourself.
No, those are the best.
Right, but instead of handing you presents, the universe just hands you this giant, completely unavoidable mirror.
Wow. Yeah, that's a mood killer.
Totally, and it just exposes every single crack in your closest relationships. That is kind of the exact energy we're dealing with today. So welcome to the show. If you are a Cancer or, if you love a Cancer, you really need to stick around because we are looking at the astrological charts for the week of June 29 to July 5, 2026.
It's a huge week.
It really is. And why should you tune in and stay with us for this entire conversation? Because this specific week is just packed with massive emotional turning points. The charts show planets changing signs, the very high probability of old lovers returning from your past.
Always fun.
Right? And major, major shifts in your career and your bank account. I mean, it is a week of incredible growth, but the energy is wild and you really need a roadmap to navigate it.
You really do need a roadmap for this one. Honestly, when I sit down and analyze the astro data for this specific 7-day window, a very clear story emerges for Cancer.
Yeah.
But it's not a simple, easy story. It's really a story about being pushed completely out of your comfort zone, finding a totally new level of inner strength, and just managing a swirling storm of different planetary energies.
Okay, well, let's unpack this right away because I know you, our listeners, rely on us to make sense of the actual mechanics behind the astrology, not just, give a list of dates.
Right. Context is everything.
Exactly. And we have been staring at these charts, and the sheer volume of activity happening in just these 7 days is, honestly, it's staggering.
It's a lot. It is a very heavy stacking of events.
Because usually a normal week has maybe like 1 or 2 mild shifts, right? A planet glides into a new sign, the moon changes phases, and we just go about our business.
Yeah, standard background noise.
But this week,
Mm-hmm.
the universe is just stacking major events on top of each other.
It is a heavy stacking. What really stands out to me is how all these different pieces of the astro data are working together to create a very specific theme.
Yeah.
We are not just looking at random noise in the sky here.
Right, it's intentional.
Exactly. We are looking at a highly organized pattern.
Right.
And the main theme of that pattern is the clash between your internal need for security.
Which is huge for Cancer.
Huge. The clash between that and your external need to grow. The universe is practically going to force you to deal with the past so that you can actually have a solid future.
So how does that actually play out for the person listening right now? Like, let's start with the big picture, because to understand this entire week, the money shifts, the career changes, the X is coming back.
All of it, yeah.
We have to start with the very first day, Monday, June 29, because this day looks like a total double-edged sword, and it just sets the tone for everything else.
June 29 is the absolute anchor for the entire week.
Yeah.
If you try to skip over what happens on this Monday, the rest of the week will just feel like complete chaos.
Right.
You have to understand the foundation.
Right. So let's talk about that foundation. On June 29, the sun is in your sign, Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on paper, having the sun in your sign is supposed to feel like your personal birthday season.
It's your time to shine.
Exactly. The sun brings vitality, warmth, puts a spotlight on your personality. You are supposed to feel celebrated and happy. But then the astrological charts show a full moon in Capricorn happening on the exact same day.
Yes, the exact same day.
And the charts suggest this full moon is going to bring your closest partnerships to a very serious turning point. So I have to ask, why does this feel so heavy? Like, if the sun is in Cancer, shouldn't its bright, happy energy just overpower the moon?
Well, that is a very common assumption, honestly. But the reality of how the sky works is quite different.
Okay, break it down for us.
Let's analyze the mechanics of a full moon using really simple, everyday terms. A full moon only happens when the sun and the moon are exactly opposite each other in the sky.
Like, directly.
Right? It is a 180-degree angle. So the sun is in Cancer, shining all of its bright light all the way across the solar system directly onto the moon.
Which is sitting over in Capricorn.
Exactly.
So they are staring each other down. It's literally a tug of war.
A massive tug of war. And you really have to look at what these two signs represent to understand the tension.
Okay.
Cancer is a water sign. It is all about feelings, home, comfort, taking care of people, and emotional safety.
All the cozy stuff.
All the cozy stuff. But Capricorn, on the exact opposite side of the wheel, is an earth sign. It is about rules, structure, career, hard work, and your public reputation.
Oh, wow. So totally opposite vibes.
Completely. So the sun is telling you, hey, focus on your feelings and your comfort.
Yeah.
But the full moon is acting like that giant blinding mirror we talked about.
Right, the mirror.
Yes, reflecting all the hard work and structure your life needs, especially in your relationships.
Wait, let me challenge that for a second. Why does a full moon in Capricorn specifically target relationships? Because if Capricorn is about career and rules, shouldn't this just be like a stressful day at the office?
Right. That is a great point to bring up. It's a really good question. The reason it targets relationships for a Cancer listener is based on the actual layout of their personal chart.
Okay.
Because Cancer is the first sign in their chart, Capricorn sits in the 7th section of their chart.
Ah, the seventh house.
Exactly, that 7th section. And in astrology, that section rules committed partnerships, marriage, and close business deals. So the full moon is literally lighting up the relationship zone with this harsh, bright Capricorn energy.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it is not a fun birthday party at all.
Not at all.
It is more like you are sitting at a really nice dinner trying to enjoy your birthday cake,
Right.
and the universe just pulls up a chair, shines a bright interrogation lamp right in your face, and asks, are you actually happy with the person sitting across from you, or are you just comfortable?
That is a brilliant way to put it. It really is. The Capricorn energy removes that soft, fuzzy filter of romance. It forces you to look at the people closest to you and really measure the balance.
The balance of what, exactly?
Energy, effort. Are you giving all your emotional energy and getting nothing back? Is your partner carrying their weight? The emotions are going to bubble up and you just cannot ignore them. Capricorn demands answers.
But wait, because the charts show another massive layer on June 29. As if a full moon in your opposite sign wasn't already enough to handle, Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer.
It does.
On this exact same day. Now, people always talk about Mercury retrograde like it's a curse, where your phone breaks and your flights get delayed.
Everyone panics about it.
They really do. But how does it actually work when it happens in your own sign on the exact same day as a full moon?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at what Mercury actually does. Mercury is the planet that rules how our brains process information, how we talk, and how we generally understand the world.
Communication, basically.
Right. So when it goes retrograde, from our view here on Earth, it looks like it has stopped and started moving backward.
It's an optical illusion.
It is an optical illusion, yes, but that visual backward motion matches a real shift in the energy.
So instead of our minds moving outward and forward, our thoughts get pulled backward and inward.
Precisely. And because this retrograde is happening in Cancer, a sign made of deep emotional water, this is not just about lost emails or a broken printer.
Oh, right. It's personal.
This is highly personal. The charts indicate that this backward motion is going to force you to review your deepest personal goals and the way you actually communicate your feelings.
I feel like a lot of people try to just push through a retrograde, though. Like they try to keep working at their normal speed and ignore it. What happens if a Cancer tries to force their way forward on June 29?
They will hit a wall, a very solid wall.
Really?
Think of it this way. You're driving down the highway, right? And suddenly you realize you missed your exit about 5 miles back. You cannot just throw the car in reverse while going 70 miles an hour.
No, that would be a disaster.
You have to slow down, pull over, look at the map, and carefully retrace your steps. If you try to speed through June 29, you are going to say things you regret, or you are going to make a major, major mistake in a relationship.
That sounds incredibly overwhelming. I mean, you have the full moon forcing you to look at the flaws in your relationships.
Yes.
And Mercury retrograde forcing you to question your own personal goals and communication. And all of this is hitting on a Monday.
The emotional load is very high. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for our listeners. But it is vital to understand that the universe is not punishing you.
It just feels like it.
It feels like it, yes. But this is a necessary pause. If you have been living your life on autopilot, or staying in a relationship just because it's familiar, or ignoring your own needs, well, June 29 is the day the universe stops the car so you can fix your path.
I like framing it that way. It is a heavy day, but it is a helpful day if you actually use the mirror they're handing you.
Exactly. Use the mirror.
Now, since June 29 puts such a giant and blinding spotlight on partnerships with that full moon, it makes perfect sense to look at how this week's charts impact love and romance.
Oh, absolutely.
Because clearly, love is the main battlefield for Cancer right now. So let's dig into exactly who you should be spending your time with, who you should avoid, and how to handle all this weird energy.
Let's do that, because the partnership zone is highly active. When the full moon lights up that seventh section of the chart we talked about, it removes all the shadows.
Nowhere to hide.
Right. If you and your partner have been sweeping problems under the rug, well, that rug is getting pulled up this week.
Because the mirror's up and there is no hiding. But what if you were single? Or, what if your past is a little messy? Because here is where the astro data gets really interesting.
It always does with retrogrades.
It really does. We just talked about Mercury going retrograde in Cancer. And anyone who follows astrology knows that Mercury retrograde has this funny habit of bringing ghosts back from the past.
The ghosts always return.
They do. The charts strongly suggest that old lovers might suddenly reach out. Like, you might get that random text message at 11 p.m. saying, hey, I was just thinking about you.
Such a classic retrograde move.
It is. So I have to ask, is this a trap? Or is this the universe offering a chance for closure?
That is the ultimate question, isn't it? It feels like a trap because it catches you completely off guard. Your heart rate spike, you stare at your phone, and you wonder what they want.
Exactly.
But if we look at the actual mechanism of a retrograde, it is simply a cycle of review. The universe is pulling the past forward so you can reflect on it.
But wait, does the chart mean this person has actually changed? Or is it just the energy making them feel nostalgic and lonely?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
It's just the energy. When an old lover reaches out during a retrograde, it is very rarely a sign that you should get back together and, plan a wedding.
Right. Don't go buying a dress.
Exactly. It is actually a test of your own personal growth.
Oh, wow. I find that fascinating. A test of your growth. It is like the universe saying, let's see if you still fall for the exact same smooth talk that broke your heart 2 years ago.
That is the exact psychology behind it. It is asking you, have you learned the boundaries you needed to learn from that past relationship?
Wow.
When that text comes through, you get to decide how to respond. You could block the number, you can reply, and finally say the thing you never got to say.
Or you could just ignore it.
Exactly. You could just look at the screen and observe how you feel without taking any action at all. The power is entirely in your hands, not theirs.
That is very empowering. So to our Cancer listeners, do not panic if your phone rings and it is your ex. Just take a deep breath, realize it is just the Mercury retrograde energy, and use it as proof of how far you've come.
It's a measuring stick for your progress.
Definitely. But as we move forward in the week, the romantic energy gets a little spicy and, thankfully, a lot less heavy. Let's look at July 2. The charts show Venus trines Lilith. Now, for someone who isn't reading astro data every day, what does Venus trines Lilith actually mean? And more importantly, how does it feel?
Let's break down the mechanics of that. So Venus is the planet we all associate with love, beauty, sweetness, and attraction.
The soft stuff.
Right. It is the soft side of romance. Now, Lilith is very different. Lilith is not a physical planet, actually. It is a mathematical point in the sky. It represents the farthest, darkest point of the moon's orbit.
Okay, dark and far.
And in astrology, Lilith represents our hidden, untamed, wild side. It is the part of us that completely rejects the rules and just wants pure, raw experience.
Okay, so you have sweet, romantic Venus on one side and wild, rebellious Lilith on the other. And what is a trine?
A trine is an angle of 120 degrees between 2 points in the sky. Imagine a perfect triangle. In astrology, a trine creates a perfectly smooth, easy flow of energy. There are no roadblocks. So when Venus trines Lilith, the soft, sweet energy of love is flowing perfectly with the wild, hidden desires of Lilith.
Hold on. Does a smooth flow of wild energy actually make things more dangerous? Like, if Lilith is untamed and there are no roadblocks, couldn't a Cancer just lose their mind and do something crazy in their love life?
I mean, it could, if they are not aware of it, but generally a trine is very harmonious. It doesn't usually cause destruction. Instead, this astro data adds a deep layer of mystery and magnetic attraction to your romantic life.
Well, that sounds fun.
It is. You might feel a much stronger physical pull towards someone. If you're in a long-term relationship, July 2 is a fantastic day to break out of your boring routine. Go somewhere new, share a secret fantasy, do something exciting together.
Spice things up.
Exactly. And if you are single, you might suddenly find yourself intensely attracted to someone who has a bit of an edge.
Like the bad boy or bad girl vibe.
Kind of. Someone totally different from your usual type.
I am loving this shift in energy. It goes from the heavy responsibility of the full moon to this fun, mysterious attraction. But with all these swirling emotions, the full moon tears, the exes texting, the wild Lilith energy, who is the best person for Cancer to actually be around this week?
You definitely need the right companion.
Right. And the charts point to one specific sign as the absolute best match right now. Scorpio.
Yes.
So why is Scorpio the perfect partner to handle all this?
It makes complete sense when you analyze the elemental makeup of both signs. Cancer and Scorpio are both water signs. And in astrology, the water element deals entirely with feelings, intuition, and deep, unseen emotional currents.
Right, they swim in the same ocean.
Exactly. As we discussed, the full moon on June 29 is dragging very deep, heavy emotions up to the surface. A Scorpio will understand this emotional weight completely. They're not afraid of the dark.
No, they love the dark.
They do.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of heavy feelings or tears. They will offer you a completely safe place to share whatever is weighing on your mind.
Right, because if you take all this heavy full moon emotion to a light breezy sign, like maybe a Gemini, they might just panic and try to change the subject. They might say, oh, don't cry, let's go get ice cream.
Which is well-meaning, but not what you need.
Exactly. But a Scorpio just sits in the dark with you and says, I understand why you are hurting.
That is the beauty of a Scorpio connection. They do not judge the emotion, they validate it. And you really have to factor in the Mercury retrograde we talked about. Remember, Mercury is moving backward in Cancer.
Right, the communication issues.
This means your communication is tangled. You are going to find it very hard to talk to normal people this week. Your words will get twisted, or you won't be able to find the right words at all. But a Scorpio connects with a Cancer on a silent, almost spiritual level.
Oh, wow.
You do not even need to speak. You can just look at them, and they intuitively know what you're feeling.
But let me push back on this Scorpio recommendation for a second, because Scorpio is ruled by Mars, the planet of war, and Pluto, the planet of destruction. So if a Cancer is feeling sensitive and vulnerable from the full moon, couldn't a Scorpio's intense, aggressive Mars energy actually cause a fight instead of offering peace?
That is a very smart observation, actually. But we have to look at what Mars and Pluto are actually doing in the sky later in the week. Yes, Scorpio has that intense edge, but by the end of the week, on July 5, Mars forms a trine with Pluto.
There is that trine again, the easy flow of 120 degrees.
Yes, so the planet of action that's Mars is flowing perfectly with the planet of deep transformation, Pluto.
Okay.
Because Scorpio is ruled by these planets and Cancer is forming a bond with Scorpio, this specific astro data creates a massive amount of shared strength. Instead of fighting each other, the Cancer and the Scorpio will combine their energy to overcome hidden fears. The Mars-Pluto connection acts like a shield against the rest of the world.
So whatever emotional wound the full moon opened up on Monday, by Sunday, you and your Scorpio partner have teamed up and completely conquered it.
That is the ideal outcome. This connection brings immense emotional security and deep trust during a week that otherwise feels pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
And the charts show a very clear path to success here. By July 5, whether you are single or attached, the key is pure honesty. Because Mercury retrograde twists things that are hidden, expressing your true feelings with absolute honesty is really the only way to find joy and harmony.
Honestly, sticking to the raw truth is the best defense against retrograde confusion anyway. Just lay it all out on the table.
Exactly.
Now, the emotional intensity in love is obviously a huge factor this week, but it is perfectly matched by some massive shifts in the material world.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. We need to talk about work, money, and personal values. In fact, these shifts in what you value are exactly why certain friendships and relationships are going to clash terribly this week. So let's look at the career and money charts.
This is a very critical part of the story.
Yeah.
While your heart is busy dealing with full moons and old lovers, your bank account and your career path are undergoing their own major transformation.
Let's start with June 30. The charts show Jupiter leaving your sign, Cancer, and entering Leo. Now, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. What does it actually mean energetically when a giant planet like Jupiter moves out of your sign and into the next one?
Jupiter is known as the planet of growth, luck, and massive expansion. Whatever area of the sky Jupiter touches, it acts like a giant magnifying glass.
Okay.
For the past 12 months, Jupiter has been traveling through Cancer. It has been expanding your personal emotional world, making you feel everything on a much larger scale. But on June 30, it finally crosses the border into Leo.
So what is the vibe of Leo compared to Cancer?
It is a totally different element. Cancer is water, Leo is fire. Leo loves the spotlight.
Yes, they do.
Leo loves recognition, pride, and above all, self-worth.
Oh.
So when Jupiter moves into Leo, your personal focus shifts away from your internal emotional ocean and turns outward toward building your confidence and demanding what you are actually worth.
So it is about standing up and saying, I have value and I want to be recognized for it.
Yes, but it is not just a mental exercise.
Sure.
In the astrological chart for Cancer, Leo rules the second section.
Okay, what's that?
That is the zone of personal income and material possessions.
Oh.
This means Jupiter entering Leo kicks off a wonderful year-long cycle of financial growth. It increases your earning potential. Jupiter in Leo wants you to be rewarded for your talents. It is going to open new paths for professional recognition over the coming months.
That's amazing.
Bosses and clients are going to start noticing your skills, and they will be much more willing to pay you top dollar for them.
I mean, increased earning potential might be the best phrase in the entire English language. I love that for Cancer.
It's very exciting.
But here is where the charts show a major problem. This exact shift in how you view your money and your personal worth is tied to the absolute worst match of the week for Cancer.
Yes, it is.
And that worst match is Libra. Why are Cancer and Libra going to clash so aggressively right now?
It all comes down to where your attention is focused and the elements of the signs. As we just discussed, Jupiter in Leo is making you think very deeply about your bank account, your material security, and your true self-worth. You are in a building phase.
Right.
Libra, on the other hand, is an air sign. Air signs are focused on ideas, social connections, keeping the peace, and staying on the surface. Right now, you and Libra are operating on completely different wavelengths. You will simply disagree on what is actually important.
It is like you are sitting at the kitchen table with a calculator, trying to build a solid financial future.
Exactly.
And a Libra walks in, ignores your budget completely, and asks what you are wearing to a dinner party on Friday.
That is exactly the kind of friction the charts are indicating. And we can analyze the astro data even further to explain why this Libra interaction feels so bad right now. On July 2, Jupiter forms a square with Chiron.
Okay, let's break down that terminology. What is Chiron, and what does a square angle do?
Chiron is an asteroid, and in astrology, it is known as the wounded healer. It represents our deepest insecurities and the sore spots we carry around with us.
Like our emotional baggage.
Exactly. Now, a square is a 90-degree angle between two planets. It creates a sharp corner, a blind spot, and a lot of friction.
Like two cars trying to enter the exact same intersection at the same time.
Yes, a collision course. So when Jupiter, the planet that expands everything, forms a harsh square with Chiron, it expands your deepest insecurities.
Oh, no.
It blows your sore spots completely out of proportion. You might suddenly doubt your self-worth or feel intense panic about your finances, even if your bank account is actually fine.
Just a sudden wave of panic.
Yes. And when you are feeling that incredibly vulnerable and sensitive, a Libra is going to seem way too detached. They're focused on pleasant, surface-level social interactions.
Right.
If you tell them you feel worthless, they might try to cheer you up by inviting you to a loud party.
Which is the absolute last thing a vulnerable Cancer wants. It makes you feel completely unseen because they're trying to fix your deep emotional wound with small talk and appetizers.
Exactly.
It shows they are missing the point entirely. And this disconnect with Libra gets even worse on July 4, right?
Much worse. July 4 brings extremely intense, explosive energy to the sky. Mars meets Uranus in a conjunction.
Meaning they are occupying the exact same degree in the sky. They are right on top of each other.
Yes. Mars is the planet of fast action, heat, and aggression. Uranus is the planet of sudden surprises, rebellion, and chaos.
Sounds messy.
It is. Uranus is very slow, taking 84 years to orbit the Sun, while Mars is fast. When the fast trigger of Mars hits the slow, erratic bomb of Uranus, the energy is electric and unpredictable.
Wow.
For a sensitive water sign like Cancer, this wild energy makes you want to seek immediate safety. You want to close the door, lock it, stay inside, and just hide from the chaos of the outside world.
Which, let's be honest, is a very classic Cancer trait on a normal day anyway. But on July 4, that urge to hide is amplified by 1,000.
Amplified massively. But how does Libra react to electric, unpredictable energy? Libra wants to go out. They want to be in the crowd. They want to socialize. They want to see the fireworks and be part of the excitement.
Ah, I see the problem.
This difference in core needs is massive. If you try to force a connection or a date with a Libra on this day, they're going to drag you into a chaotic environment, and it will make you feel lonely, anxious, and completely misunderstood. The charts are clear. Avoid deep partnerships with air signs right now. Let them go to the crowded party, and you stay home in your safe space.
Okay, consider us warned. Avoid Libra, stay home on July 4. Got it.
Right.
But let's bring the focus back to the actual workplace because the daily rules of the 9-to-5 job are shifting too.
They are.
We already established that on June 29, Mercury goes retrograde. How does a retrograde mind affect a Cancer sitting at their desk trying to work?
In the workplace, A retrograde Mercury demands absolute precision. You
Hmm.
cannot rely on your normal speed. The car is in reverse, remember.
Right.
If you try to speed through writing a report, or if you quickly skim an important email before replying, you're going to make a critical error. The charts suggest you must pay close attention to the small details. Double-check your math.
Mm.
Read every document twice before you submit it.
That is always good advice, honestly, but it sounds like the stakes are much higher for Cancer this week. And then on July 2, we have Mars squaring the node. Now, the node is like a compass, right? It points to our path and direction.
Exactly.
What happens when aggressive Mars forms a harsh 90-degree square to our compass?
It creates sudden, unavoidable friction. This astro data usually points to a very sudden shift in team dynamics or workplace rules. Mars wants to push forward aggressively, but the square angle to the node creates a sudden roadblock or forces a sharp turn in a new direction.
It is like the boss suddenly changing the rules of the game right after kickoff. You memorize the playbook, you are out on the field, the ball is snapped, and suddenly the referee blows the whistle and says, actually, we are playing a completely different sport today.
That analogy captures the frustration perfectly. You might have a new manager step in and change all the procedures, or a long-term project might suddenly get entirely new guidelines from the client.
So annoying.
Very. The key here is your reaction. Because Mars is involved, your first instinct will be to get angry and argue.
Yeah, you want to push back.
Do not do that. My analysis of the charts strongly advises staying calm and adaptable. Do not lose your temper, because fighting the node is a losing battle. Just take a deep breath and adjust to the new rules.
Adaptability is your absolute superpower this week. And speaking of being careful, we need to circle back to money for a second. You mentioned July 2, when Jupiter squares Chiron, making Cancer feel highly vulnerable and insecure about their worth. Does this emotional wound affect how they actually spend their cash?
Absolutely. It is a very common psychological reaction. When people feel emotionally vulnerable or insecure about their value, they try to fix the internal feeling by acquiring external things.
Classic retail therapy.
Classic retail therapy. But the charts indicate this is a very dangerous time for early spending. You must be cautious. Do not try to buy your way out of a bad mood.
Put the wallet away.
Yes. And definitely avoid any risky investments or large purchases. Your judgment about what is truly valuable is completely clouded by that Chiron sensitivity.
So put the credit card in a block of ice on July 2. Do not buy the expensive watch or the designer shoes just because the full moon made you feel sad.
Please don't.
But wait, on July 4, when that explosive Mars-Uranus energy hits, couldn't that cause a different kind of money problem?
Yes, the charts show that July 4 is very likely to bring a minor unexpected expense. Uranus rules technology, electricity, and sudden events. Mars rules action. So this unexpected expense is usually related to travel or technology breaking down.
Oh, great.
Your car might suddenly need a new battery, or your laptop might crash.
Oh, no. A broken laptop during a Mercury retrograde sounds like an absolute nightmare.
It is definitely frustrating, but I really want to highlight the word minor here.
Yeah.
This is not an expense that is going to bankrupt you. It is just a bump in the road. And I want to reassure the listener right now, do not let this stress you out.
Why not?
Because the very next day, on July 5, the planetary energy shifts completely in your favor.
Thank goodness. Let's talk about the good stuff then. July 5. Mars connects with Pluto in that beautiful, easy-flowing trine. We already discussed how this powerful connection helps you conquer fears in your romantic life with the Scorpio. But what does Mars trine Pluto do for your career and your bank account?
Mars is drive, and Pluto is deep, hidden power. When they flow together like this, they give you incredible, unstoppable determination. It is a very focused, laser-like energy.
Nice.
In your career, it gives you the physical and mental drive to accomplish the hardest tasks on your desk. If you have been struggling with a complex project all week, July 5 is the day you finally break through the wall.
You just get it done.
You will impress your supervisors completely because you'll be operating with a level of focus and intensity that no one else can match right now.
And what about the financial side? Does this help you recover from buying that new car battery on July 4?
Yes. Because Pluto rules things that are hidden underneath the surface, this powerful trine helps you see financial opportunities that you previously missed.
Oh, like finding money in an old coat pocket.
Or finding clever ways to save money, cutting out hidden waste in your budget, things like that. It ultimately helps increase your total wealth. You will end the week feeling completely in control of your finances.
That is a massive relief. You have to survive a few very bumpy days in the middle of the week, but you end on a very powerful, wealthy note. Now, let's take a step back. We have talked about relationship drama from the full moon, ghosts from the past texting you during the retrograde,
So many texts.
bosses changing the rules at work, sudden financial expenses. I mean, I am exhausted just talking about it, so I can only imagine how a Cancer is going to feel actually living through it.
It takes a toll.
You are going to need a very solid plan to stay healthy and grounded. Let's look at the health, wellness, and your weekly toolkit segment of the charts.
This is arguably the most crucial part of the analysis. When the outside world is throwing this much chaotic energy at you, protecting your internal world becomes your full-time job.
It's not optional.
Wellness and self-care are not optional for Cancer this week. They are vital for survival.
Let's look back at that June 29 full moon for a second. We know it brings up deep, heavy emotions in our partnerships, but how does carrying that emotional weight actually affect a Cancer's physical body and energy levels?
Well, processing deep emotions physically drains your body. The brain uses an enormous amount of energy to handle emotional stress.
Right.
The full moon in Capricorn requires you to balance your personal needs with the needs of others. Now, Cancer is a sign that naturally loves to nurture. You want to take care of everyone around you. But during this full moon, if you give all your physical and emotional energy to fixing your partner's problems or listening to your friends complain, you will end up totally depleted. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first.
It is the hardest lesson for a water sign to learn, how to say no. It is perfectly okay to look at someone you love and say, I care about you, but I am exhausted and I need to go take a nap.
It's a required boundary this week.
And speaking of needing a nap, the charts show a term on July 2 that sounds a little terrifying. It is called the Malefic Besieged Transit. Honestly, that sounds like a medieval castle under attack by flaming arrows. What does this actually mean for a regular person just trying to get through their Thursday?
It's a very dramatic term, I know. It's used in traditional astrology. Let's analyze the mechanics of it simply. The malefic planets are the ones that traditionally bring challenges, restrictions, and heat, specifically Mars and Saturn.
Okay.
When a planet is described as besieged, it means it is trapped between these two difficult energies in the sky.
Okay, so if a planet is trapped, how does that affect the person down here on Earth? Because I want a better analogy than a castle. It sounds more like, I don't know, being inside a submarine that has dived too deep.
Oh, that is a much better analogy. It is not an active, violent attack. It is like being in a submarine where the atmospheric pressure outside in the deep ocean is heavier than the pressure inside the cabin.
You just feel compressed.
Exactly, you feel compressed. For a regular person, this besieged transit translates to a temporary but heavy dip in your physical vitality or your mood. You might wake up on July 2 feeling sluggish, heavy, or just sad for no obvious logical reason. It is that feeling of being weighed down by invisible pressure.
So you are in the submarine and the pressure of Mars and Saturn is squeezing the hull. What is the cure? How do you relieve the pressure?
The best defense against this kind of pressure is retreat and extreme gentleness. Spend July 2 relaxing at home.
Just stay in.
Yes. Do not force yourself to go out and be social. Do not schedule a heavy, punishing workout at the gym. Make comforting, healthy meals. Nourish your physical body. You need to treat yourself with the exact same gentleness you would offer a best friend who is recovering from the flu.
Warm soup, a heavy blanket, and a movie you have seen 100 times. I can definitely get on board with that defense strategy.
It's highly effective.
And the good news is that this heavy submarine feeling does not last forever. I am very happy to point out that the week ends on a magnificent high note for your health. On July 5, Mars forms a lovely sextile with Neptune. We talked about trines and squares. What is the mechanism of a sextile and what does it feel like?
A sextile is an angle of 60 degrees. It happens between signs that are naturally compatible, like water and earth. It is a gentle, helpful angle. It doesn't force things to happen, but it offers a helping hand.
Like a soft breeze.
Yes, like a soft, cooling breeze. Neptune is the planet of the vast ocean, spirituality, dreams, and ultimate healing. When Mars, the planet of physical energy and drive, works cooperatively with Neptune, it literally floods your physical body with peaceful, restorative energy.
Oh, wow.
All that heavy pressure from the malefic besieged transit earlier in the week just washes away.
That sounds incredible. It sounds like finally taking a long, warm shower after a really grueling, muddy hike.
That is exactly the sensation. It is a deeply cleansing energy. Because Cancer is ruled by the moon and deeply connected to water, I strongly advise you to use July 5 to connect with the physical element of water. Go for a walk near a lake, take a long bath, or just listen to the sound of rain. Rest deeply, meditate, and recharge your spirit.
Just soak it all in.
Think of July 5 as a gift from the universe, specifically designed to help you recover from the exhausting week you just survived.
I love that so much. Use Sunday, July 5 to just breathe, wash off the heavy energy, and heal. Now, to help you channel all this good energy and protect yourself throughout the week, we always like to give you a little toolkit.
The toolkit is important.
Let's start with the color of the week. The charts say the power color for Cancer right now is silver. Why is silver the specific choice for this intense week?
Silver is a very deliberate choice based on the astro data. Think about the physical properties of silver. It is a highly reflective metal. It acts like a mirror.
Oh, wait, like the full moon in Capricorn acting like a mirror to your relationships?
Precisely. This entire week is fundamentally about inner reflection and managing intense lunar energy. The full moon on Monday is the biggest, heaviest event. Silver connects you directly to the highest vibration of that lunar power.
I see.
When you wear silver jewelry, or even if you just close your eyes and picture a glowing silver light in your mind, it helps you reflect negative, chaotic energy away from yourself. It acts as a shield while keeping the cool, calm, intuitive energy of the moon close to your heart.
So put on a silver necklace, wear a silver shirt, or just imagine a glowing silver bubble around you when your boss suddenly changes the rules at work or your ex sends you a text.
It works wonders.
That is a fantastic, practical tool. And what about numbers? We have some lucky numbers generated from the charts to keep an eye out for. They are 4, 8, 17, 26, 35, and 44. How should a listener use these?
You don't need to play the lottery with them, but you should look for them as signposts. You might see them anywhere in your daily life. Look at the clock when you are feeling stressed making a decision. Are the minutes showing one of these numbers?
Or like 4.44 or something.
Exactly. Look at the total on your grocery receipt, the numbers on a license plate, or the page number of a book you randomly open. When you spot these numbers, take it as a small, quiet wink from the universe.
It's a little nudge.
It is a reminder that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, even if the week feels totally chaotic.
It is like finding little breadcrumbs on the trail telling you that you haven't lost your way. I love having those to look out for. It makes the heavy energy feel a little more magical. Okay, we have covered an enormous amount of ground today.
You really have.
We have looked at the mechanics of the planets, the psychology of the transits, and the practical steps to survive it all. Let's do a quick recap so our listeners know exactly what to focus on. If you are going to circle dates on your calendar right now, the absolute most important dates this week are June 29 and July 5.
Yes, those two dates are the pillars holding up the entire week. June 29th is the day of the full moon and the Mercury retrograde. It is heavy, it demands precision, and it is going to bring emotions right to the surface. But it is absolutely necessary for your personal growth.
It is the day you are forced to look in the mirror and deal with the truth. And then July 5 is the day you finally get your power back. Mars and Pluto team up to give you immense strength in your career and your bank account, while Neptune washes away the stress and brings you deep physical healing. It is the reward for doing the hard emotional labor on Monday.
It is a beautiful reward. I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you navigate these next few days. We have talked a lot about the concept of mirrors today.
We have.
The full moon in Capricorn is a harsh mirror, reflecting the reality of your partnerships back at you. Old lovers returning from the past are mirrors reflecting the person you used to be. Even your power color, silver, is a mirror designed to reflect light. So ask yourself this question. What is the one truth about yourself or your life that you have been terrified to look at in the mirror?
Oh, wow.
And how can the incredible inner strength and clarity you will build by July 5 finally help you look at that reflection and smile?
That is such a beautiful, profound question to end on. What are you afraid to look at, and how can you learn to finally smile at it? I hope you take that thought with you and let it guide you this week, Cancer. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to the episode on Horoscope TV.
It's been great.
We love analyzing the charts and exploring the stars with you. Please make sure you subscribe to the show right now so that you can get notified the very moment the next episode is available. You will not want to miss what the universe has in store for you next week. Stay strong, trust your intuition, wear your silver, and we will see you next time.